Hello, my name is Steve Barrett. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of PRWeek. Delighted to be here with Claudia Patton, who's the Global Chief Talent Officer at Edelman. We're going to talk a little bit about talent and the PR industry, and also the session that Edelman is running at our conference on November the 14th around this topic. So Claudia, welcome.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And obviously talent is one of the biggest issues in the whole industry, isn't it? And you've got the global role at the biggest PR agency in the world. So who better to ask about what the biggest issues are for you in terms of talent and getting the right people and keeping them as well? So how are you finding that at the moment, and what are the big issues for you?
Well, in an industry where we've got like 3 to 5 careers, for a millennial, right now we are not a utility company where people come in and they stay their whole career. So some of the challenges that we have is to work within our matrix. Edelman is a matrix organization, so there are several different paths, and it's our responsibility to not only talk to our employees on a regular basis and say, how are you doing? How am I doing? What do I need to know? But we need to make sure they really understand those 3 or 3+ paths that they can take to have a long career at Edelman.
And is that what you need to do these days to keep the best young and brightest young
people? And we're seeing that even in the interview process, it's not simply about here's Edelman and here's who we are. It's more of really a conversation and a listening to ensure that the employee, the potential candidate, knows what our values are and that our values match their values. Those are the kind of questions we have to ask. And today a lot of people may be starting into an industry or into a company just because they need their first job, but they're not really looking to move forward. We make a lot of investments with training, so we want to ensure it's the right match both ways.
And how does PR tell its story? Because still, a lot of people don't necessarily understand what PR people do. There are certain preconceptions, aren't there? How do you get that message out and also get the brightest people, people who might be going into finance or law or the .com?
And you make a good point, because we do want people in vertical industries. We're not just looking specifically for PR degrees. I think one of the best people at our company to tell our story is Richard Edelman. If you read 6 a.m., his blog that he does every week, I always encourage candidates, read Richard's blog. You're going to hear about him personally. You're going to hear about his vision. You're going to know a lot more about our company and the way that we work. We have several other bloggers. We have a new website that comes up today, actually, and we have our individual employees blogging, telling their stories. So I think the way to learn about our company is through our employees, not only from our C-suite, but our fellows who are traveling all over the world. They're blogging in real time, telling what it's like to be the good, the bad, and the ugly, what it's like to work at our company.
Yeah. And what about the skills that you need these days to be in PR? I mean, they've changed considerably, especially with digital and social media. 2 questions really. What are those skills that now are almost a must-have? And 2, what about the people who have been in the industry for a number of years, who don't have the luxury of being 25?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm not talking about myself.
Okay.
Who've got great experience, but they've got to freshen up their skills as well. So how do you sort of balance those 2 challenges?
Well, to your first question, we do look for people who develop content, whether it's whatever channel it may be in social media. So we're looking for those people that have the insights, and we can find them whether it's through awards, it's through our Edelman Alumni Association. People are coming back. Edelman's a big boomerang company. People return to our firm, and we meet them through associations. But we see, and as far as the people who are more mature in their careers, we have a lot of training, and we do a lot of online training. We just did transmedia storytelling. We have our video modules. We're talking a lot in video, telling our stories. We have our public engagement refresh coming up, more digital training. So we're very, very active in our university and our training for those who may not have those skills. But I think it's really important when you ask about those that we're looking at. We're also looking for language skills. We're looking for individuals who've had experience either language, university, globally. Maybe they've done work globally. This is very important because the global mobility piece is quite important for our clients moving forward.
And is that actually an attraction for candidates as well, in the fact that they'll get to work in different parts of the world?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, we are the largest firm with 64 offices globally, and we do have a tremendous need. Our clients have needs, particularly in our Brazil, Russia, India, China, Middle East, offices, the growing, developing areas. We have needs for those clients. They need people on the ground. What's important about that, we have a very structured program. We're in our 4th year of doing our fellows program. Not only do the clients benefit, but then when the individuals are repatriated back to their country or maybe going on to another country, we're integrating that knowledge. And so we're really very, very active, and we're very prescriptive about that program. It's been quite successful.
Great. And how do you ensure you have a diverse workforce that reflects the customers and the consumers of your clients? 65 to 70% of the profession is women, but that's not necessarily reflected at the most senior levels.
That's right.
And then ethnic diversity in PR has been a big issue that we've been talking about a lot at PR Week. How do you ensure that your workforce is diverse?
I think both of those questions are really germane to Edelman. Right now we have a global women's executive network that we're in our first year. We've made tremendous strides in, I think we have almost 1,000 members, women and men, who've joined for the purposes of seeing that senior women are appreciated, are advanced, and that women move all the way through. What are the times in a woman's life where she may take maybe take a time off, or make her career a little bit softer, and then how do we re-engage that individual? So we've even changed some of our policies as it relates to gradual maternity leave for women. And also looking for very specific opportunities to have that conversation going on online. So that's an initiative that I think we're really starting now in our second year to see more changes in policy. We oftentimes say your career doesn't have to be a ladder. It can be a lattice. It could be a jungle gym. You can move sideways and then come back. And keep your skills up. As it relates to diversity, we have a Global Diversity Action Committee that's with all of our regions. Particularly in the United States, we have a Vice President of Diversity, and she has been working very closely with Syracuse and with the ND program. It's the Edelman Diversity Initiative, where we're bringing students into the United States, and then we're converting those students after they work with us and do a great job into our company. This is the kind of process we're doing in each region. Of course, it's very different, and the needs are very different for diversity as well. But I think this is, as it relates to women and multicultural hires, this is something our industry needs to be tighter on, and we need to share those challenges together.
Yeah, and let's debate that more at the session at the conference, and let's end on that. So on November the 14th in New York City, what are you hoping to achieve from this session, and what sort of debates and conversations would you like to stimulate?
Well, our panel is about the talent communications. How do we use communications people to reach out in a new way to potential employees, and what do we need to do, whether you're corporate or agency, what do we need to do today to start talking the talk? Where are our candidates? We need to go where they are. We need to listen to what they want to talk about. We need to speak to them in a different way. What are some best practices as it relates to career pathing, succession planning, global mobility, maybe a fellows program, learning and training, and really get into the mindset of the top talent today. And I really know that people who come to our session will leave with some specific areas of what the trends are and the challenges in the future.
That's great, looking forward to it. And we're going to have a LinkedIn group to get the discussion started before the event as well, and to continue it afterwards. So we want everyone to engage with that. Thank you very much, Claudia.
Thank you,
great to talk to you, and look forward to seeing you again in November at the conference with many of you, hopefully. So thank you for joining us. That's all we've got time for. We'll see you next time on PR Week Live.